Weep, Grana, Weepingity Bong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. And I have been waiting an eternity to finally get my hands on issue 1 of Transformers Shattered Glass by IDW. My version came with this little dude here. So Blurr was the first figure release. You can actually find the review for this dude on the channel at the moment. He's pretty nice. I love him. I think he's probably my favorite kind of mainline style of Blurr ever. Does have a challenge here, and again, go check the review. But I got him from Pulse, which means he came with this. So he came with the kind of Hasbro Pulse official cover variant for this. This is kind of a one-shot that starts off the story. It's a bit of a focus spotlight on Blurr, but brings in the characters as well. I thought that each episode was going to be, each issue, sorry, was going to be maybe just a pure one-shot. I think it is a continuing story that goes from figure to figure to figure. And this one focuses in on Blurr. Now, for those of you who don't know about the Shattered Glass universe, the Shattered Glass universe is the mirror image of the Transformers universe that we know and love. So this is where the Autobots are the bad guys and the Decepticons are the good guys. So Blurr in this is like no other Blurr you've ever seen before. But he is still fast. He should have been dead slow. That would have been the mirror image, right? So what do you get with the Hasbro Plus one? The Hasbro Pulse one has a slightly better cover. It's got this super shiny, shimmering shiny top bit here saying Transformers Shattered Glass issue 1. Awesome cover variant here. This matches up with the box art from the figure itself. Looks very, very nice. It's got some varnished elements to it as well on the front, so the glass elements are a little bit shinier because they're varnished as well. And then the thread they varnish on the Autobot logo as well. But that cover is a thing of beauty. So let's crack this bad boy open and take a look on the inside. On the inside, we get Transformers Shattered Glass. We get the writer, the artist, the inks, the colors, the color assist, and all of the letters, editing, supervisor, and design. And of course, it's from the guys at IDW. And this is just an awesome, awesome logo. Love this logo. Is there a Decepticon logo that looks like this? I haven't seen it. I don't think I've seen the Decepticon variant. Have you? So the story kicks off with Blurr finding his way back to what is called Gold City, which is run by Goldbug, and he's now an evil kind of bounty hunter who is bringing back different parts of different bots. So can anybody work out who this is yet? We'll find out. You know what it is yet? Do you know what it is yet? From that head? We'll find out. You do see a busted up Metroplex in the background. I mean, that guy is absolutely busted. You can see here Blurr going past, and Blurr is basically just doing a bit of a prologue about what it's like and about what it's like to be a bit of a bounty hunter during these days. And we find him going in to what is called Gold City, or they refer to it as GC through the entire thing. And then you can see kind of a waiting outside of Ratchet's surgery, and you can see them kind of saying, you know, make sure he's in a good mood. Do you think he's going to be in a good mood? And so Blurr just waltzes straight in, and you can see Ratchet, who in this universe is a bit more twisted and will experiment on you rather than fix you up. And if you get damaged in battle, he brings you in and just forces you to have something that will be better. So we can see that he's tinkering with a bot, and he's trying to basically create a bot that will not die in battle. So he gets all these gets all these parts off Blurr, and Blurr wants to tell him the story. Blurr wants to tell him the story of what happened. He's still super happy, and you can see that he still talks super speedy because you can see that all of the words are together. So he tells him the story of how he killed Six-shotter. So he killed Six Shot, and we can see the insane, crazy kind of grin that we get from Blurr here. Blurr's too quick for him, basically, and just decimates him straight away, takes him down, and it's like almost too easy. Blurr is asking for his payment, but then to get his attention, Ratchet actually says, well, I do have some other work for you, but also Goldbug himself, or the Big Bug himself, actually has a job for some bounty hunters at the moment, and that bounty is to hunt down Starscream, or Megatron's most trusted lieutenant and the voice of the Decepticon Rebellion. So Starscream here. Awesome looking Starscream. Can't wait to get my hands on this figure. It looks absolutely fantastic. So we cut then to Blurr picking up the bounty and saying he's going to go get him. But when we cut to it, Starscream is actually also already in the thick of it, and he's going against Hardhead and Chrome Dome, who we can see here are like purple and blue, and they look absolutely sick. So they are also kind of bounty hunters, just like Blurr, and they're both picking on him. And Blurr basically thinks that, hey, I want this bounty. I don't want them to have this bounty. So what happens is that Blurr and Starscream both kind of team up to go against Hardhead and Chrome Dome. So we see like Hardhead gets his cannon kind of sliced off there, and then they're going back to back, and Blurr kind of says, hey, you know, I'm here to help you, don't attack me. So then they both go to work, basically knocking the hell out of both of the Autobots here. And then what you slowly learn as you go through this is actually this is all part of Blurr's master plan, because this hole in Starscream's wing means that Starscream actually needs help now, and what he wants to do is try to bring in Starscream alive, because there is more money in Starscream being alive when he's brought into Goldbug. So they set off together on a journey, and you can see that again they passed a broken down Metroplex here. So I wonder if Metroplex, because they keep kind of showing him in the background, I wonder if he'll come into play at any point, or if they'll release a Shattered Glass take on Metroplex. That would be absolutely awesome. So this is where he's saying, you know, if I'm going to bring down one of the last remaining legendary Decepticons, I need to have him walk right into Goldbug's arms. So he knows he needs to get Starscream on his side, so he tells him he just saved his life, he's on his side, don't attack me. And he starts to give him basically a sob story of how he can trust him, but he also says, hey, what are you gonna do? You know, at the moment Cybertron is split into Goldbug's Gold City, where everybody's after him. He could take his chance and go to Prowl's territory, but nobody is safe in Prowl's territory. And then there's also Pax, which is where Optimus Prime is, and you can see all of the bodies here outside what is Iacon. Basically, that is Iacon, yeah? And basically, he will just be put on a spike there. We know he's going to get put on a spike. He knows he's going to get put on a spike. So he says, you know, you're stuck. You need help. He then starts on his little story. So he starts to tell Starscream his little story about how he doesn't really care about the conflict. So he starts off his little sob story and says, look, Starscream, let me be real with you. I know that this symbol means to you, but for me, it's no big political thing. It's survival. So all Decepticons fall for a sub-story, and then tells him about his sub-story about how he was just a scout in the early days and decided that he was going to be with the Autobots because who doesn't want order and control over chaos causing freedom? And it sounded good. It sounded good. So he helped the Autobots defeat all of the Decepticons. So he's saying that basically when the Autobots brought peace through tyranny, basically, to the whole galaxy, he then became this kind of scout. He never really wanted to start off doing this kind of thing, but fast forward a few hundred cycles and this is where he is, and this is how he's ended up. Starscream kind of kind of believes him and says should he be swayed by your neutrality, Blurr? Do you think I believe that a lack of passion is worthy of some kind of empathy, a patronizing tug on my spark? I'm a Decepticon because I saw through the lies of your Autobot masters. Nice. Blurr's like, oh, come on! So he's trying to get around Starscream, but it's more difficult than he thought. He's saying, I just want peace. I just want peace. I'm sick of war. And he just keeps telling Starscream, let me help you. I want the opposite of war. I don't want the fight. So reluctantly, Starscream kind of gives in, and off they go together into this area where there's hot lava just falling from the skies, and this is where Starscream then takes the advantage up because there is no way he believes him. So as they're going through here, Blurr is thinking he can't wait to be the first one to bring Starscream to justice, the fastest Autobot alive. And you can see that Starscream has now hatched his plot to overcome Blurr and tells Blurr that that's far enough. And basically the charade is up. Blurr owns up and just says, yeah, I've been faking it the whole time, and a battle commences. Starscream knows, though, that he can never catch Blurr. No matter how fast Starscream thinks he is, Blurr will always be faster. And what we learn is actually Starscream led him here for a very specific point, and that point is that he doesn't have to be faster than Blurr, who is still much faster. He has to just be more clever. So his blaster jet opens up the ground and allows the molten lava to completely cover Blurr. And Blurr then gets basically stuck in the mud. And we say, no, not like this. Not like this. Poor Blurr. And then at the end, we see Blurr fully cemented up, looking like he's from Pompeii. And Starscream then offers him some thanks and says, thank you because you have brought me one step closer to Megatron. So now we get to take a look at the front covers for the next issues, which is Megatron's issue. And I can't wait to see the heroic Megatron. Absolutely fantastic. The toy is a little bit yeesh, but hey, you know, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. And then we also get the non-coloured version, like a colouring book type version of the front cover, and then we get the front cover itself. Then we get an advert for Transformers Cross Back to the Future. Awesome story. Transformers Cross Terminator, one of the best Transformers crossovers in years. If you have not read this, read it. I have all of the reviews on my channel, but you should definitely pick this dude up and read it because it's awesome. Look at that artwork. Oh, I really wish that they'd do a season 2 of this and a season 3 and a season 4 rather than the My Little Pony ones. Also shows some other stuff from the Hasbro universe. So we get Action Man, the GoBots, Mask. We also get the Micronauts, Rom, and also Visionaries. Mask. When are they going to reissue some figures for Mask? Also, just reminding everybody that you can also pick up all of the main lines in the loads and loads and loads of kind of almanac volumes that you can get from IDW as well. G.I. Joe then takes center stage, and also Snake Eyes Dead Game. And then the Bleeding Ponies are everywhere, and TMNT. Lots of adverts on this one, more TMNT and the Transformers annual as well, which I've not actually picked up yet, but probably should. So all in all, for me, an absolutely stellar start to Shattered Glass. This is a series I have been waiting for IDW to tackle for forever. For absolutely ever. I think it's a great start. The Autobots do seem to be pretty brutal. They are definitely more brutal than even the Decepticons are depicted in the comics. I cannot wait for the next issue. Let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Alright guys, in a bit. Peace!